Welcome back to the channel, everyone. We're out making a DIY sifter. I wanted to show everybody how I do this and the process behind it. These DIY sifters work great as plant carriers. They double as plant holders. We can fit quite a few plants in our larger sifters and we can carry them from place to place. And on the other hand, using the sifter for a sifter, we like to winnow wheat and okra and other seeds of that size when we place a box fan underneath it to blow all the debris away, but the seeds will fall right through to the container. Let's get right into this. I like to recycle materials. This wood here was recycled from our greenhouse build. All of these little shims here, these are actually shim pieces. You can see they used to use them as stakes or holding between boards when they were all set up on pallets just to keep them straight and dry. So on the subject of recycling, we've got these old handles. I had gotten a huge bag or a small bucket of these a long time ago at a thrift store for dirt cheap. So I've found tons of uses. I used one of them on here to hold this. This is not the best built box here. This is actually 5 or 6 years old and it has seen its fair share of wear and tear. So I bought some new hardware cloth. We've got 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch. I think this tube was about 10 and this was about $6 or $7. And the different sizes are basically up to you. All of the sizes on the wood. These are just 1x2s here. And I had gone through and pre-drilled all of the holes to get this all in order so I could basically just put this together like a kit. And pre-drilling is very crucial to not splitting this wood. This is not the best of quality wood, but once we are finished, we can use some linseed oil or we can use our walnuts to crush them up or pulverize them and stain this wood also. So let's actually talk about what's on this table. We've got our drill bit. We've got a countersink. This is a very important tool to have in order to countersink all of these holes you've got here to allow for expansion when the screw goes in and to allow this screw head to sit flush on the actual board itself. All right, so we've got the screws we're using and these are about 2 1/4 inch. And I had this metal tape out here and this is very handy. And if you do not have these little wood planks, you can use this cheap material. This is like couple bucks for a roll of this stuff and you can basically just line it all around. So that's one quick and easy way if you do not have all the materials, and all of this is interchangeable. I also have a stapler because if you have a strong enough stapler you could staple this mesh that we're using. I had already cut this piece to size. This is all basically ready to be put together and I'm going to do that now and show everybody the process. So the first step of this was basically getting the actual frame built so you can attach your mesh cloth to it. I already have my holes pre-drilled for these actual handles here, so they will just slide right in once I have my mesh on. And one more thing is you need a nice sharp set of shears or some heavy duty scissors to be able to get through that hardware cloth. This one wasn't so bad, but the 1/2 inch is a little bit thicker gauge and it's a little bit harder to get to, so you may need some shears or snips for those. So the next step after I get all of this down is deciding which side you want to be the bottom. So this side is a little prettier, so that will be the top. And this is where our mesh is going to go. So what I did is came through with my stapler and just kind of pinned all this in place because all of the boards I need to tack this down are right underneath, but I've pre-drilled the hole, so I'm gonna get all this tacked down and this box is almost complete. All right, so here we are basically finished here. You can see I've got some rougher pieces of wood that I used, but for the most part I try to keep all of those tacking pieces clean, all of those strips there. So now that is all basically tacked down nice and tight. This is able to bear load and you can basically use it right now. I'm going to go through the step of putting those handles on real quick. Here we are with handles on this, and this was pretty simple to do here. You just got to drill out the holes, and these are nice and sturdy, nice metal handles. And I was gonna say you can just use some chunks of wood. Basically, we just drilled out the holes, pre-drilled them, and screwed pieces of wood in for handles, and that is super sturdy. And this weighs about 15, 16, 17 pounds at the most, and I would say that this one with the metal probably weighs about 12 to 15 pounds also. But the fact we're using 1x2s lightens up that load, and that mesh doesn't weigh a whole lot. Now this one has proven to be very sturdy also. Very nice build, easy to do, but it's reliable. This is super simple, something you can do yourself at home. Basically used all recycled free wood, and we had just bought some mesh cloth, different sizes. You can basically do this to fit whatever need that you see you could use something like this for. You can use even larger holes, such as like fencing or something like that, if you're just winnowing large stuff, or if you're doing large sifting on your compost, not too worried about those smaller bits of stuff getting through there. Now don't forget to check your local hardware stores and lumber yards for offcuts or miscuts or any scrap pieces of wood that they may let go for cheaper or even free. That's how I come upon all this stuff, and basically just use it to make my life easier or sell them to make money off of. I definitely put all of these to good use, so I might have to mass produce quite a few of these and take them to our local farmers market. I just want to thank everybody for watching these videos and checking this out. If you got any questions, definitely drop it in the comments below.